I have a question for you.
I thought as much.
If you could play a game where you were able to dominate your fellow man and extract pleasure from administering the digital equivalent of CBT onto your opponents, but that same fate could be forced upon you,
Oh my god, that combo.
would you play that game?
Like stutter step real quick and then
Yeah.
that's good. Oh motherfucker!
I'll do better next time.
Well,
Also, real quick apologies for the UI being off screen. I have a fat monitor. What does DotA stand for? Dick on that ass. Started out life as a Warcraft 3 custom map, but much like tower defense, the genre quickly became a beast of its own. You see, chasing the rabbit and developing games based off the work of modders may result in multiple billions of dollars over the years, but it won't result in a community that can compose themselves with the dignity you'd expect of a teenage boy. The MOBA community has always been degenerate. I should know. It's where I ended up when I acted like this too. You see, mods for StarCraft and Warcraft had turned this genre of games, once about controlling armies and managing an economy, into a game about controlling a single dude and a bank account. In the early days, two of the most prevalent examples were League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth. I never played Han. I have a feeling that most people haven't, as the game officially died in 2022. I went onto YouTube to find footage of the game, and I came across the video which I can only assume is from a private server, with music from YouTube's library to accompany the montage. Honestly, looking at this gameplay, it doesn't inspire confidence. I can see why League won out, but then DotA 2 came out.
All I ever wanted was DotA 2 Vita. It's all I've ever wanted. The wait is killing me. I swear we are waiting, but oh, why can't you see that all I ever wanted was my Vita key?
And I don't remember playing it. Clearly, my mind is failing me. As you can see, the data shows my earliest matches from 2012. Empirically, I played in the beta, but my memory in many aspects is kind of shit. After all, I just learned from the DotA guy in my friend group that apparently I stole his Aegis of Immortality in the first game we ever played together all those years ago.
that healing lotus, you can't take the healing lotus out of your inventory.
On. No. Wait, give it. You son of a bitch! Fucking asshole! I was trying to drop it. Give that to me. You piece of shit. Give that to me. Fucking asshole.
Highway robbery.
Fucking crying. Clap over that.
Oh, this reminds me of the first time we ever played Dota together, and you stole my Aegis. It finally came out,
It's
the full
I
circle.
don't remember that. I don't even remember.
I remember
Lumpy
that.
did.
I
That's on the
remember that.
list of like where you also fucked his girlfriend in Crusader Kings and
Yep,
we
it's
stole
on
your
that list.
Aegis.
It's like that
It's
time
on-
you made that
it's
one
on-
sound.
Yeah. The list is ever building.
Hey, beats me, man. I can't remember what I jerked off to yesterday. But enough about me. What the fuck even is this game? I'm your typical League enjoyer, Jack.
This game, League of Legends, is a god-awful game.
All I know is Double Lift.
This fucking sucks.
Tyler won K-pop waifus, and the Valve's entry into the genre clearly doesn't have any of these. Or does it? The best way to describe the difference between Dota and League is that Dota is an RPG, while League is a mobile game. Don't believe me? They fucking put League on an iPhone. There's a level of freedom and interaction that screams jank.
Oh no,
Bristol
you're an
Specs,
ancient
yeah, that's great.
apparition.
Oh, hi, Marcy.
Oh, I missed.
How did that?
Hey, you got a
you missed
slow?
because you attacked from low ground to high ground.
I know. So sad.
Get fucked.
However, when you look into it, it actually provides a level of meaningful depth that's refreshing. To list just a few things: stacking camps, denying creep, blocking creep, pulling camps to hold the laden back, placing a ward to prevent that camp from respawning, supports going to war over this, denying towers, all units have collision, so body blocking is a thing, trees being destructible, items being droppable, a day-night cycle that affects vision, jungle camps that sleep during the night, and some heroes that interact with the night, and much more that I don't even know because I've only been learning this game for a few months.
Without me and Ben, the enemy team wouldn't have anything to kill, honestly.
Oh god!
I think I called that one.
Admittedly, many of these mechanics were designed by Blizzard back in Warcraft 3. Many more of them came from the dozens of individuals that touched the development of the original mod and its iterations. However, this philosophy of the environment responding to the player can be summed up by a few lines from Gabe Newell himself, talking about Half-Life.
And so we had to come up with some notion of what fun was. We knew it was an ad hoc definition, and it was the degrees to which the game recognizes and responded to the player's choices and actions, right? You know, in behavioral science, you would say we were explicitly talking about what were reinforcers and what the reinforcement schedules were, right? The point I would make is if I go up to a wall and shoot it, to me, it feels like the wall is ignoring me. I'm getting a narcissistic injury when the world is ignoring me. So it is like, to me, I was trying to convey to the user a sense of, yes, you were making choices, yes, you were progressing, which meant the game had to acknowledge that back to you. If you shoot at a wall, there have to be decals. If you kill a bunch of Marines, the Marines have to run away from you, right? You have to have this sense of the game acknowledging and responding to the choices and actions and progressions that you've made. Otherwise, it loses any sort of impact.
This game isn't just more complicated than League, it's more interactive. The trees are in my way, so I cut them down. My enemies get gold from killing my creeps, so I killed them myself. I'm playing a support character, but my team needs more damage. I will farm the shit out of my jungle and lane and build items that give my main stat, turning me into an effective AD carry.
Holy shit. Good job.
Because in this game, stats like intelligence, agility, and strength don't increase the power of your abilities. They increase your mana, attack speed, and HP respectively. Whichever one is your main stat is what increases your attack damage. Meaning that while your abilities do play a huge role in what you're good at, any hero can be turned into a pseudo carry. Take a look at this man. He is an arcane wizard. I'm not even sure I can call him a man since he seems to be mostly a cloud of gas and plasma contained within a suit of armor and jazz. However, he is one step ahead of humanity because he has achieved self-actualization. Or at least he likes to talk a lot about it.
The self moves. The self is under attack. The self seeks. The self roams. The self comes for you.
This self clearly is a caster. He makes ghosts, time dilation bubbles, and uses electricity to induce radiation poisoning. Hell, his ultimate makes a carbon copy clone of himself with all of his items and abilities. And the clone can be controlled separately. Literally a space wizard. He even uses agility. Wait, what? No, that can't be right. This dude looks like he should be casting spells. I mean, other than his bubble, none of his abilities even help him auto attack. How is he an agility hero?
That dude was auto-attacking me forever. Yeah.
Arc Warden isn't a mage, or an AD carry. He's a motherfucker that stacks as many ability items as he can, and clones himself to double dip and use them twice. He casts ghosts that burst and slow people down at long range. He chases them down like a dog, and inflicts unknown horrors of the void upon them.
Good job. Fantastic.
Nice.
He rushes to acquire an item that lets you kill creeps and monsters for massive amounts of gold. And then his clone appears, and he doubles it. He accelerates his income to levels that can only be dreamed of by other carries, and buys the most expensive items. Then he summons a swarm of other copies and guns thugs down in the streets. There is an uncountable amount of heroes in Dota. Uncountable. I mean, look at this lineup. Could you count it? I don't fucking think so. Especially since most of them aren't Arc Warden. But that doesn't mean they're all bad. Let's go from one lightning-looking gangster to another.
Your character.
Razor is a true G.
Gold is a great conductor.
He's been here since the beginning, and when people talk about drive-bys, they're talking about him.
Careful, Ben. He's starting to believe.
You got
Blast,
this.
blast.
Nice, nice, nice. Get that stun off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another one of them showed up. No, they didn't.
Hit the Q. Nice.
Nice.
There it is. There's the stun. Silence him.
Watch the reflect. That's huge.
All of these characters, and not a single mention anywhere of who or what they like to fuck. It's beautiful. That's another difference between Dota and League. Dota isn't about identity. Well, I mean, to be fair, League isn't either, but Riot sure does keep trying to farm the clout and money by saying it is. Look at this lady. This is Mirana. If this was a Riot game, I would know all about her mental trauma and sexual preferences. I would know that she might be a furry, and secretly, she thinks about her mount mounting her. I would be told all of these things through social media, and be shamed by a swarm of people who don't understand what a tax forum is for thinking that this is weird and unnecessary, and that maybe the purple hair option was put there to appease a special class of person. In reality, she's a night elf riding a war saber that had to be reskinned for copyright reasons. She stuns people with arrows and calls down the moon's grace to inflict lunar sunburns upon those who got queued up against her. Techies is a fucking bitch.
Look at these two. We have a word for them back at Aperture. Morons. Good luck.
He throws a walking bomb onto unsuspecting civilians that follows the first victim it identifies, resorts to shock therapy against anyone that touches him, rocket jumps in and out of danger like it's 1997, and sets up the entire map as a minefield, requiring the deployment of a minesweeper division or the willingness to accept that you're simply not welcome here anymore. You know, I watched a video recently about the amount of artillery fire that's being used in Ukraine from both sides, and how Russia is firing as many as 440,000 shells a month. A good portion of those are what are called cluster munitions, a shell type that contains multiple explosives that spread upon detonation, and how a significant portion of them failed to detonate properly, meaning that much like the underwater minefields of World War II that are still being cleared to this day, more and more Ukrainian soil is being sprinkled with what are effectively landmines for civilians to discover. I think about these things every time I see someone playing techies now.
Techies just fucking, what the hell ult does he have?
Fucking World War I landmine?
I get a certain sense of perceived superiority from playing this game.
Oh, he fucked up. He's dead.
Not necessarily superiority over other people, but over myself. My younger self, that couldn't manage to do more than right-click the ground and struggled to reach more than 4 buttons without having to look down at the keyboard.
Okay.
So nice having
Just gonna hold
these
you for a
troll
bit.
homies.
This is coming top, but that's all of us.
I get a sense of accomplishment, of growth, and then I get shit stomped right back into the dirt as someone who actually has functioning hands and eyes beats my ass.
Dire victory.
That make a big mess.
Make a big mess.
You see, if video games are great at one thing, it's teaching you how to deal with failure. Correction, they're horrible at this, but they are good at giving you a personal failure you have to deal with. How you deal with it is completely up to you. It's a test of your mental fortitude, or rather, your ability to shirk off the relatively meaningless sensation of anger and frustration that comes from losing in a video game.
You were doing very well. I'm very proud of you. Making mistakes is the path to wisdom.
More power to
You're a beautiful person with a charming personality. I've always wanted to be a giant spacecraft.
Defense of the Abstinence will really bring you to your highest highs and your lowest lows. Even yesterday, I felt like a literal god amongst mortals, only to feel the sting of gravity as it all came crashing down the next game. Lord Gaben, Please allow your most humblest of acolytes to be matched against someone who doesn't know how to farm and deny creep.
Same with my centaur. He has like the reaction speed of like an actual centaur.
It is my own lack of skill and knowledge that acts as a barrier between myself and success. I shall not look at my opponents as people in any capacity greater than what is needed to predict their actions. They are merely stepping stones towards self-actualization. Either they fall before me as I have already surpassed them, or they beat me into submission, in which case I must learn from this experience, lest I become submissive and breedable once again. Look at this motherfucker right here. He has single-handedly been supplying both sides of this never-ending war. This man somehow has managed to negotiate himself into the most desired of positions, that of the benefactor. He has positioned himself as the go-to option for high-end merchandise. Both sides may love or hate it, but no matter what, they not only tolerate his presence, but they also agree to his terms. Oh sure, you can prefer your local suppliers towards your mom and pop vendors right there in your fountain, but if you want real firepower, you buy it from him. He has so much demand from both sides, he needed to clone himself in order to meet demand. If that's not an example of supply chain efficiency, I don't know what is. Speaking of conflict, why are we fighting? What is the Dire or the Radiant? In Dota, the reason we're fighting isn't two nations going to war, it's much more primal. There are two fundamental forces of the universe, the Dire and the Radiant. It's a series of long, weird, and metaphysical concepts that describe what these two really are in the story. But in short, these are the Ancients. Two big, warring cosmic powers that are fundamental to the genesis of creation itself, and functionally two sides of the same coin. These two powers have equally corrupt almost everything they touched, save for a select few of individuals that are strong enough to resist. So, instead, the Dire and Radiant each whisper sweet nothings into the ears of all these heroes with promises of power, gold, and possibly immortality in exchange for the destruction of the other. And that's why we're fighting. We are mercenaries in one small battle of a cosmic war. I hinted at it earlier, but Dota really does let you prevent your opponent from playing the game.
Yeah, fast as fuck, boy.
It is entirely possible to pull the creeps from your lane into a jungle camp. And even if a couple of creeps do get to lane, you can kill them on your own to deny the enemy the satisfaction of items and levels. And you've seen enough already how unfair the heroes themselves can be.
Riki's just carrying the fuck out of the game.
What would you consider to be fair? Is it fair that you can regenerate your health faster than damage can be dealt to you? Is it fair that you can be pulled from safety into danger? Is it fair that when you do escape to safety, danger can be pulled right into you? What even truly is fair?
There was a motherfucker there, he was there!
Is it fair that in order to gain satisfaction in this life, it must seemingly come at the expense of someone else? Oh, completely. That's why video games, especially multiplayer ones, are extremely popular amongst the general populace. I would say it's because people don't want to see others as humans, but that's not true. I got you, buddy. Oh,
Sounds like that's how did the ship explode?
It's that people do see each other as humans, and they want to put them in the dirt.
He's dead.
They want to inflict as much mental pain and suffering onto someone as legally allowed. This is where MOBAs thrive, in that thin barrier between stress relief and sadism.
What the fuck? Somebody, for the love of God, help! What? All of you just ran!
This game does weird things to you.
Feeling good, man.
Feeling good, man.
Agreed.
That make a big mess.
That'd make a big miss.
I don't know how much longer I can stretch this video out, so I'm going to leave now. A warm thank you for making it this far into my spiral down into insanity. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
I'm so big. Hey, get up in the air, you piece of shit. I'm gonna run away now.
Ben, you're so big. Say no and leave. Say no and leave.
I'm saying no and I'm leaving. I'm saying no and I am leaving.
What is happening to you? Why are you flying?
It's my neutral item.
That may have
That's a
been the
win in my
shittiest game ever, but We're gonna win the war.
It's in a bag, mate. Yeah, go on, you see if it's not. Open it up and see if it's not in there. I'm telling you.